Woman who can't afford new tires leaves repair shop unaware that a trooper heard her conversation. Mary Summers, a 92-year-old Texas woman, was unlucky when she rolled her car over a nail that punctured one of her tires. Mary was returning from seeing her younger sister, who had been living alone since she was widowed just over a year ago. Mary was also a widow, although she was more than used to loneliness as her husband died more than 20 years ago of pancreatic cancer. Mary visited her sister every week, which for an elderly woman was quite a challenge because she had to travel more than 100 kilometers on the road in an old Chevrolet van that only gave her problems. Something she was not afraid of because the love she felt for her sister and her duty to help her in such a hard moment of her life were above any risk. Mary's sister was ill. She had Parkinson's, and although she could still do almost everything without help, it was becoming increasingly difficult for her to do simple tasks. So she didn't leave her alone much and tried to visit her as often as possible. They couldn't afford a good nursing home, nor could they afford to pay someone to take care of her while Mary was away. They were alone in the world and would take care of each other until the end of their days. "You shouldn't come all this way by yourself, sister. You're the oldest. I should be taking care of you and not the other way around. This is so unfair to you," her sister would tell her every time Mary came home from a long drive. "There is nothing unfair about wanting to take care of your only sister. No matter who is the older of the two, I know you would do the same for me if you had to. You don't owe me anything, sister. I will always take care of you," Mary would reply lovingly to relax her and keep her from thinking about it anymore. She knew that her sister was suffering in silence because of her illness and the recent death of her husband. She didn't want to add more worries to her life. Both Mary and her sister Charlotte had the allowance the state had allotted them when they became widows. It was too small a sum to make ends meet in an increasingly complex world where the prices of everything kept rising. Mary had never had children, which was never a problem for her. Neither she nor her husband wanted to be parents. It was clear to them from the moment they got married. All of her or her husband's close relatives were either deceased or living in another state, so she had no one else to turn to in an emergency. And it was clear that the breakdown of her tires and her inability to bear the cost of the repair was the kind of emergency where you usually call your husband, siblings, or even grandchildren to lend a hand. But Mary was not that lucky. All was not yet lost, though, and fate had something very good in store for this brave woman.
Also, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these real-life stories every day. Now, back to the story.
On her way home, Mary felt the car stumble over something and heard the sound of a flat tire. "Oh no, not again. Please don't let it be serious," the old woman said to herself as she suspected it was a flat tire. But Mary's pleas were to no avail. As she got out of the car after parking on the side of the road, her suspicions were confirmed. She had punctured one of the front tires and the other 3 were badly worn. "Damn, this way it'll be impossible for me to move forward. I have no choice. I'll have to take it to a mechanic. I have no idea how I'm going to pay for it though," Mary said to herself as she called the towing service to take her car to the nearest shop. The tow truck took her car to Integrity Tires in Richmond, Texas to have the flat tire fixed. But after a quick look, they gave her the worst news. The repairs her car needed to be roadworthy were beyond her budget. It was impossible for Mary to afford the expense. There was no way she could fix her car. The mechanic who attended her was named Omar Arregueta, and he was very kind to her at all times when he saw her situation. However, the man could do nothing more to help her and could not fix her car for free, as he also needed the money to be able to support his shop and his family. "Ma'am, I understand your situation and I am truly sorry, but you understand me too. If I work for you for free, everyone will want me to do them the same favor, and in the end I would be ruined. I need to charge for every hour of my work. I hope you understand," were the mechanic's words in response to the old lady's refusal to pay the bill for the tires. Deflated at not being able to afford the cost of a new set of tires for her car when only one was blown out, an elderly Texas woman tried to walk out of the shop. Mary decided to go on her way without repairing the car with all the risk that entailed. Omar Arregueta, the mechanic attending the shop, sat Mary down and explained to her that it was not safe to drive her vehicle with all 4 tires dangerously worn. There was no solution for her. They had to be replaced, which would cost her around $600. "Mrs. Mary, you can't drive with that car. It would hold at most a mile or less, and then all the tires would eventually blow out, and you would have an accident. I don't want that to happen to you. I would feel very responsible. I can only afford 1 tire. I don't have money for anything else, and I need to be on my way. "I'm very tired," replied Mary, who was starting to feel like she was running out of strength. "Your car is not roadworthy, really, ma'am. Don't move from here," explained Mr. Oreguera. "Tell me who I can talk to help you or take you home. You must not drive that car. Besides, you are very tired, and it is starting to get dark. Don't go out on the road. You'll endanger her life and the lives of the other drivers." The mechanic was very nervous about the attitude of the old woman, who refused to listen to anything he said. A local news station captured the scene of the repair shop that we are just now telling you about. The local news station, KHOU News, and in it, we can clearly see Mary's disappointment when the mechanic gives her the news, and as she then slowly moves her walker close to her chair, getting up to stand and leave the shop. Luckily for her, there was someone else listening to their conversation in the shop that day. And it wasn't a journalist looking for an interesting story for the 9 o'clock news. It was someone who cared more about the welfare of others than her own. A protective angel, or at least that's what he was called by those who had been fortunate enough to have had his help in the past. The unknown guardian angel watching her was a Texas Department of Public Safety police officer who had been sitting right behind her the whole time, listening to the entire conversation. A man who only thought about the welfare of those most in need and who did not seek recognition. Everything he did, he wanted to remain anonymous. As Mary continued to argue with the mechanic about the tire repair and the possibility of driving the car in that condition again, DPS Trooper Drew Stoner walked up to the counter unnoticed and left Mary with a big surprise. "All of that lady's debt over there is paid off. Get her car fixed as soon as possible, please, and don't say anything about me, please," said the policeman to the lady in charge of the counter and taking the bills from the garage. The policeman left the garage with total discretion, and Mary, who was already very tired of arguing, said goodbye to the mechanic and turned around, determined to leave the garage. She had no idea what she was going to do, but it was clear that she could do nothing useful there. The best thing to do was to abandon her old car and ask for help to get home. But that never happened because her guardian angel had already done all the work for her. "Wait, ma'am, wait, please don't go. I'll fix your car. Someone has paid your bill," Omar shouted at her, running after the old lady to prevent her from going any further away. Mary did not understand what the mechanic was saying. She stood in the middle of the shop and asked him if this was a practical joke. "Look, young man, I don't have time for jokes. If you don't want to fix my car, don't do it. But don't lie to me. I'm not old enough for that kind of thing anymore." "It's not a joke. I'm serious. Look, your bill is already paid," Omar told her, showing her the bill for her fully paid repairs. Mary couldn't believe it. She didn't understand what had happened. She just wanted to cry. She was exhausted, and although she didn't understand anything, she felt a deep gratitude for the person who had decided to help her in that dark and painful moment in her life. Moved by the emotion, Mary ended up hugging the mechanic, who returned the gesture with great emotion. "Don't worry, ma'am. Cry as much as you want. It doesn't bother me. I am also very surprised by what has happened. It's incredible. You could say that you have a guardian angel," said Omar as he hugged her. "That's right, I have a guardian angel, but I would like to thank him and hug him too. It's a pity he didn't leave his name." "Well, that's why he's an angel, isn't it? If not, everyone could call him." "Well, that's also true, but I still want to thank him somehow," said Mary thoughtfully, thinking about the mysterious person who had helped her without asking for anything in return. After that wonderful event, and inspired by the policeman's generosity, Mr. Oreguera also wanted to do something nice for the old lady and gave her an oil change. "It's my way of contributing to this nice solidarity action. I know it's not much, but I hope I can help her. For a stranger to take care of another stranger like this is really inspiring. It should always be like this. Let's all take care of each other," he said to Mary as he handed her the keys to his fully fixed car. Helping others selflessly is a great act of love, no matter how big that help is. "Thank you from the bottom of my heart," said Mary, very excited as she got back into her car with an excited gesture. After that, and wanting to thank the agent for rescuing her in such an unexpected way, Mary asked the media for help in trying to locate the man who paid her bill. After several weeks of searching, the KHOU radio station located him and managed to reunite Mary with police officer Stoner, who visited her at home. Stoner explained to her that he wasn't looking for attention, but he had a feeling in his gut that he had to keep her and others' drivers safe. "Ma'am, you don't owe me anything. I thought of your welfare and the welfare of the other drivers that night who might have encountered you and your car in disrepair. I am a police officer, and first and foremost, I am a man of God and His community. That's why I decided to serve the police so that I could help anyone who needed it. And you needed me, he explained to Mary when she insisted on returning the favor. Hugging the policeman with genuine gratitude, Mary said, "I'm so grateful for you. I'm so proud. I'm proud to know someone who has such a big heart. You are an angel, a true savior, and the world deserves to know that. I will never forget you." After they met, Mary and Stoner stayed in touch. Whenever Mary went to visit her sister, she would also visit the policeman and bring him something to eat that she prepared herself. Mary was a great cook and a lover of baking. The policeman's life was filled with sweetness and popularity after helping the lovely old lady. Eventually, and despite the fact that Stoner did not want his name to be made public, his story helping Mary in the workshop and their subsequent friendship went viral on the internet. The internet is exploding with love, with people praising the trooper's unsolicited kindness. One person writes, "This trooper is a true American. He represents the essence of America, people who help people no matter what." And another simply says, "He's a hero." The following year, and after becoming very famous, DPS Trooper Doper was awarded the Medal of Valor, the DPS's highest honor for his bravery and dedication in stopping a shooter and saving a woman with gunshot wounds which happened before his shift. He once again behaved like a true guardian angel who helped everyone without it being his duty to do so. DPS Officer Drew Stoner is a true hero who truly wants to help for the good of the community and not just for recognition. His endearing story with Mary and all of his selfless helping actions are an example for all American people to follow. His kindness is a beacon of hope for all of us in these gray days we are living in. Did you like this touching and surprising story? If so, we invite you to leave us a comment expressing your opinion and what this story has made you feel. If you want to continue enjoying inspiring stories like this one, subscribe to our channel or check out the other videos shown at the bottom of the screen. Thank you for your cooperation.